Welcome to Light the Wick. I'm your host, Jim Naples. If you haven't seen Light the Wick before, we're an arts and entertainment show produced by YSU students. We like to focus on the happenings on and around the Wick Avenue corridor right here in Youngstown. But first, here's something that's happening not only here, but all over the U.S. It's November, or Movember as it may be called, and some of the men in your life may have a little more hair on their face than you're accustomed to. That's because it's No Shave November. This month, men across the country grow out their facial hair in support of cancer awareness and are encouraged to donate any money they would typically spend on the grooming supplies to cancer research. So ladies, take it easy on the man in your life whose face is a little rougher than you'd like it to be. It's all for a good cause. Light the Wick showed up early for last week's game to get a sneak peek of the Penguin faithful tailgaters. They show up early and party hard all the way up until game time. Last week, the lots opened at 9 a.m., and these faithful fans were waiting in line to get in at 1:45.
Many years, tailgating a couple spots here in the lot, and have some new tailgate friends we have here over the years. Some guys have failed it off into the sunset, but I'm still here. This is my crew right in here. Helping these guys get started, you know, putting the tent up, something that you just become accustomed to doing all the time, knowing that you're part of the YSU family. And that's what's important. Games at 2 o'clock today. We were here approximately about 7:45. There were a few spots here actually already occupied, but we are always in this particular area. We've got this corner here. It's about 3 or 4 of us have the same tailgate pass. 15 minutes before the gates open, we're in the line to get into the parking lot here, and here we are. We unload sometimes from the street, but within 45 minutes we've got both tents up. We've got the food being processed already. We're ready to go. I love Corona. I love Coors Light. We have an affinity for some of the younger crowd who love Great Lakes beer. You know, right now the season is coming up for the Christmas season. And so the younger guys and girls, they go for the Great Lakes. Us old guys keep with the Coors Light and the Coronas and stuff like that. As far as food goes, bratwurst, we vary our menu every week. Got it all.
Be sure to show up bright and early for this week's game against North Dakota State and cheer on the Penguins. Lots open at 8 a.m. and you can be sure you'll see Frank and his crew there as well. For Light the Wick, I'm Chad Westfall.
I hope all of you will tailgate and support YSU at their last home game. YSU Theater is getting ready to open its door for a new play based off the holiday classic, It's a Wonderful Life. For more on this play, we sent our own Quincy Carrier out to one of their rehearsals.
A different type of play is showing next week in Spotlight Theater. How is this a different play? Well, it's a radio play. To explain the difference, actor Mark Warko brings in some insight.
I think a radio play is more different than everything else because it's all focused on the sound, on the voice of the actor. Granted, like when you're doing a regular staged play, you want to have everything from facial expressions to physicality down pat, but here it's just all about your voice, all about I guess the mechanics of your mouth and what you're doing to make the sound come out.
The actors will be doing live sound effects and playing multiple characters right in front of your eyes. But actor Therese Sneed lets us know what's important about the play.
It's about the sound, not the look. I remember when we were rehearsing one day, I just decided, okay, I'm gonna pull out my phone and I'm gonna record some of this. Next thing I know, 2 hours went by, and when you're standing up there doing it, it's a lot different than hearing it back. I went home, or on the way home, I plugged in the aux cord to my phone, and I listened to the rehearsal, and it sounded live. Like it sounded as if the sounds that were being created weren't being created by people that were just standing there with the different, instruments and or Foley stations. It sounded real. It was raw, and it was beautiful. Honestly, I didn't expect it to sound how it did, but closing your eyes and listening to that, it creates a beautiful picture in front of you.
For Light the Wick, I'm Quincy Carrier, and I'll see you there.
For more information and tickets for the show, hit up the links in the description. The Youngstown Symphony once again took the stage at the Dior Performing Arts Center to bring us country legends. A typical symphony show requires you to be still and silent. However, at this show, they wanted the crowd to be just as rowdy as the music. The symphony was accompanied by Broadway star and X Factor finalist Rachel Potter, who sang alongside Season 1 finalist of The Voice, singer-songwriter Patrick Thomas. The two sang some of country's most famous songs. Rachel then sang one of her favorites, a classic tune by Patsy Cline, Crazy. For more information, check out Dior's Performing Arts Center's website. The thrill of model trains can be a joy to all ages. Last weekend, we got to experience the fun.
The Youngstown Model Rail Association held their quarterly open house this past weekend on 4 Mile Road in Austintown, Ohio. With a $4 entrance fee for adults and free for kids 11 and under. If you were fortunate enough to make it out and see, you surely weren't disappointed. We met up with professional photographer Derek Day, whose work has been published in magazines and books, all featuring trains, and spoke with him about his work and the YMRA.
Mostly friends, kind of social thing, go out and go from there. Mostly I got into railroading stuff because my buddy was in the trains, and I was in the photography, so I just kind of joined into that. We're at the Youngstown Model Railroad Club, which is in Austintown, and there's probably 20-some members. They come down twice a week. They work on getting engines ready or doing modeling stuff, cleaning stuff, doing stuff like that.
In case you missed it this time around, you can find information on the club's Facebook page. The next open house will be the first weekend of December from 12 to 6 all weekend.
If you'd like to discover the magic of model trains, mark the first weekend of December on your calendar. That's all we have for you on this episode of Light the Wick. If you have any story ideas you'd like to share, you can email us at the address listed on your screen. Make sure to like and follow us on social media accounts, and we'll leave you with a few upcoming events to look forward to. I'm your host, Jim Naples, and this has been Light the Wick.